Hello, it's Ruben West here, and welcome to Black Belt Speakers Academy, where we help you put the punch in your presentation. This first module, Module 1, is the method. And the first lesson, you as the speaker. In this lesson, I'm going to help you develop yourself as the speaker. So let's get started. Will Smith said, "The thing that has been most valuable to me, I did not learn in school." Think about that. The things that are most valuable, he did not learn in school. Now, that's not hard to believe because everyone learns the same things in school, yet everybody doesn't excel the same way. And so here I'm going to share some things with you that most people don't know because they weren't taught in school. Now, here's the points I want you to take out of this lesson. And one of the things I want you to remember as we get started is if you look below the lessons, you may see some downloads. You have the opportunity to download the material. You always want to have a pencil and paper ready so that you could take notes, so that you can capture this information. But throughout the lessons, I will put additional resources available to you that you can download for your own benefit. Now, the first thing I want you to think about you as the speaker is, what are the positive things you bring into the room as a speaker? And so let me give you some examples. Number one, you may be confident. That's a positive. You may have knowledge of the subject matter. That's a positive. You may have experience as a speaker. Those are all positives that you could bring in the room. What I want you to think about is, what are all of the positive things that you bring into the room as a speaker? This is important because we're going to build on those positive things. Now, the next thing is, what are all the negative things you bring into the room as a speaker? Now, why is that important? Because you will never not get hired back as a speaker because of the things you did well, right? That's never going to be the reason they don't call you again. The reason that they won't call you again are the things that you weren't good at. So it's not only important to learn the positive things that you bring, you also have to identify the negative things. And let me give you some examples of that. Maybe it's nervousness. Maybe you have fidgety, or there's some movement that you do that you don't even know about. Maybe you fill your presentations with verbal fillers like and okay. These are all things that, even though you don't realize them, break the connection between you and your audience members. So what I want you to do in this lesson, you as the speaker, is think about those negative things that you bring into the room as a speaker. Why? So that we can help work on those and develop those into positives. The next thing you'll have to do is you'll have to share from your past experiences. Now, this is important because when you share from your past experiences, it creates stories that the audience can see themselves in. Now, you've probably been through a lot of experiences, and most of the time, people don't think about all of the things that they bring to the table, all of the experiences that they had. And so what I want you to do is literally think through those experiences. What are they? And then how are they valuable to the audience members? And then how could they be valuable to someone who wants to bring you in as a speaker? Now, watch this. I have been a speaker at martial arts banquets, speaking at the Association of Surgical Technologists, and this is a very diverse audience. And here's the funny thing. The reason that they've brought me in to speak on those subject matters is because I've had experiences in both of those areas. And so one of the things I like to tell is how I got started. My original degree is criminal justice with emphasis on juvenile corrections. And I wanted to make a difference in the lives of youth. And so when I was doing my internship at the juvenile correction facility, it changed my perspective of the impact that I can make. You know why? Because they had all of these rules and regulations. They had things that I could do and couldn't do, things that I could say and couldn't say. I couldn't bring any outside material in for the kids. It was very regulated. And what I decided was, wait a minute. This is not the impact that I wanted to make. This is so limiting. There's no way for me to make this impact. And so I said, I have to do something about it. This kind of felt like babysitting to me. And so what I did was I made a decision that I had been studying martial arts, and that I was going to use my study in the martial arts to create my own martial arts school. Why? Because there I could decide what the students would learn. There I could implement things in the program to help them take their lives to the next level. I could bring things in from the outside and people in from the outside to share with them so they could gain knowledge. And it wasn't easy. It took me a long time to get that school going. I had financial issues. I had problems getting people to trust me that if they rented me their space, that I could pay a 3-year lease at $2,150 a month. You know why? Because I had never done it before. But I was able to do it. I just knew that if I got the opportunity, my drive was so strong that I would make it happen. And I did. As a matter of fact, I've had my martial arts school now for 17 years. I've moved to a number of different locations, but now we own the building, paid for, that the school is in. I was also inducted in the U.S. Martial Arts Hall of Fame. And the reason I'm telling you this was from an idea that I had and taking action, I was able to implement those things into the program. And you can too. If you have an idea for a product or a service or a business that you'd like to invent and you have a background knowledge in that, I believe you can do it. Now here's the thing about this story. I share this story because I want you to see that I brought some things to the table as a martial artist. There's some things that I knew, some things that I didn't know. There's some things that I knew and didn't know as a business owner, but all of those things I implemented into my presentation when I go to speak on this subject. And I do the same thing when I'm speaking at surgical assisting and Association of Technologists banquets. They bring me in because I have specific knowledge on this information. And so you have to think about what knowledge you have that would be pertinent to the people that are going to listen to you. And how do you make it so that anything you do, anything you say will not be disrupted by the things you bring into the room. So here are your action steps. Number one, with your pen and paper, you're going to list out all of those negatives and you're going to list out all of those positives. The purpose will be to get the information that you do well and outline the information that you need to work on. You want to know exactly what you need help with. The other thing is you have to write out the lessons that you've learned from your past experiences. That's exactly what I did when I talk about being a martial artist or starting the school. I write out the lessons that I've learned from those experiences, and then I share those with the audiences that I speak to. And so I can use specific stories based on specific outcomes that I want to create in the audience member. So you want to write down all of those things. Now, here's the takeaway, here's the benefit. Here's what I want you to understand. That your past experience, the things that you've been through, the things that you've learned, the things that you've overcome, the things that you've developed, those past experiences can be the keys to someone else's future. Those can be the things to help them move forward. If you have the ability to leverage that information, to use those past experiences in a positive way in your speaking, it will create experiences for the audiences that will change the way they see things and change the belief about what's possible for them. There are lessons within our everyday experiences. I want you to make sure you record this information, and I'm going to let you know right now, our next lesson is going to be the art of taking charge of the room. I'll see you in the next lesson.